Hello there, welcome to Five Figures. Today I'll be reviewing these five 1/6 scale Jurassic Park action figures. Actually, these are not all 1/6 scale. The big carnivore bipeds are, the two sauropods are actually 1/3 or 3 3/4 inch scale. But for either way, I have John Hammond here to kind of get an idea of the size that we're dealing with. So we're going to start off with Rex, the original Rex. And if you're not familiar with these, they're pretty cool. If you don't have one, if you're just going to get one, I do recommend just this Rex. He has articulated jaw, which I think is a little bit on the top and a lot on the bottom. So, I mean, he opens wide. He's a clear gullet. And he can actually swallow other figures. And there's a door that pops open at the bottom to get them out. I don't know if you can see that, but you can actually eat somebody, retrieve the figure for later. That is a really cool feature. As far as leg articulation, I think they just kind of have like pre-clicked locks, and they go forward, they go back about yay, and they stop. Not the most articulated of these. His tail moves right at the base. It doesn't really rotate or anything like that, and there's no, there's not a lot of flex, even though the tail is rubber. Arms move, but they don't really do anything other than just straight forward movements. So maybe not the most articulated, but he is very well balanced, which, as we can see when we get to, well, basically it's just the Indominus. The balance is a key thing, but this, he doesn't rotate his head or anything like that. He just looks amazing though. I absolutely love this thing. So set him over here for a minute. Next up, this is the Dinosaurs. This one came with the, or from the last Jurassic World movie, which I don't know how you felt about. I thought it was okay, kind of weird. He does have slightly more articulation because you get still the clicks on there and move like that. But instead of Rexy, because he does not have them, you get these ankle pivots, which is actually helps a lot in balancing. You get one big joint right there, and you get another small rotating joint at the tail, which you don't get on the Rex. Arms still do the same forward movement, but you do have a wrist turn on these, which is nice. Still no neck. Ooh, there is a neck turn on there. It's just hidden. So this one, he can turn his head, which, you know, Rex can't. But they're always trying to tell us in all the movies that, oh, there's a bigger dinosaur and blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter because everybody just still wants the T-Rex to win the fight. He has a bit of an underbite, which I don't really care for. I think the design on the Rex is better as far as how that jaw opens. Also, I think it's just more an aesthetically pleasing dinosaur. But I do like how these teeth intertwine. And he also still has the mouth that can swallow stuff. And I do have to give it to him. I think his paint job is probably a little more in-depth than the Rex has. He has the ability to swallow, and he still has the removable door there. So he can still eat people, eat other action figures. You can retrieve them out of his stomach. And as far as balance goes of the bipeds, he is the most balanced. Like a very nice balance on him. And we'll put him over there. Oh, hello, John. All right, so next up we have the Indominus, which, you know, got a little bit scrawnier of a tail, and that is where the balance problems come in with this guy. So where the others can like lean farther forward, oh sure, you're balancing now. You never do it on the shelf. Okay, so he has one big giant ball joint at the tail that just moves about so much, no tail rotation. Your standard click lock and back. He also has ankle rotation. And it's like they made the claws extra long just to keep him balanced. But I have had a lot of trouble with him falling over. So most of the weight just goes on one leg. He's behaving, but maybe it's just because we're on a table. So your arms still just move forward and backward. You also have the rotating wrists, which I appreciate, especially on these guys with the bigger hands. I'm getting to turn back slightly. His upper jaw and lower jaw also move, and they are separately articulated, so you can move either one. And he can also swallow bad guys, or good guys, or whoever. And also has the stomach thing to remove the figures that he's eaten. Yeah, just with this, just the only thing I've noticed is balance, and you really have to watch how the feet are rotated or it will not stand. However, that said, even though I think he probably has more flaws than the other one, he also has a neck articulation, which is pretty nice. The face sculpt on this guy is really nice. I gotta give it up for that. It is, as far as like creepiness, it's easily the creepiest one of all of them. Of course, that's the whole point of it in the movie. All right, and next up, we're down to sauropods. Now, pretty sure these are made for the 3 3/4 inch scale. So I didn't bring one of those. A 3 3/4 inch is gonna run about there. But, you know, from the stuff I see in the books, this looks awfully close. I do think Jurassic Park tends to oversize their dinosaurs at about every turn that they can. So it wouldn't surprise me if they have slightly upscaled their brachiosaurs. But we can check him out anyway. So this was the first sauropod they came out with. Don't get a lot of movement with the feet or legs. And I don't think any of them turn or twist because they really don't need to. They're just basically pachyderm feet. You get so much tail movement, not a ton. And then the sculpt on this guy is great, especially on his back. The paint, they actually did some paint wash to this thing or something. It comes out looking very nicely. He kicks forward that far, even though he doesn't, of course, need to do any of that. And the weirdest thing with this one, is anytime you look forward, he looks super stupid. Like, that is, like, why would you even make it move? I know why they made it move that way. It's so they could fit it in the box, because pretty sure that wasn't attached when you buy it. And it's kind of amazing how they pack these things and get them so that they can all fit in there. But that's one thing that's always cracked me up is that thing. And when he does it, you can see it is still articulated. He's a bit dusty, but it's just weird. If you can see in the lens, it's kind of hard for me to tell from here. He does have an articulated lower jaw. Nothing articulated on the head, no neck movement or anything like that. We do have a rotation. Okay, man. I didn't think I had a rotation there, but it does. Which means I can get him even goofier. Yeah, a bit on the weird side. That's the only thing wrong. This thing displays beautifully. You can have a whole set of figures even underneath it, and he looks just awesome. And the last one we have is the Diplodocus. I think probably for me, I think I like better. The only thing I really don't like is this neck hinge. Makes it look a little weird. He does have excellent paint on the back if you can't see that. Nice ball hinge that rotates. Kind of. No, it does not. These things have joints where I think they don't, and then they don't where I think they do. Anyway, I thought I could turn his head to look up a little bit, but apparently I can't. You don't get much movement out of the hind legs, probably even less out of the front. Once again, you don't really need them. It's kind of a static display because it's just a big thing. No rotation on the tail except for right on the end. But it does turn back and forth. You do get a lower jaw that is articulated. But like I said, this whole neck hinge thing, I don't know, it just looks a little odd to me. However, I do have to say, as far as the face sculpt goes on this guy, it is beautiful. Beautiful face sculpt. So, he's a good looking, I guess you just have to call him an action figure. Even at that size, it's an action figure. It's a huge action figure. But, I mean, it's representing one character, so I gotta say it's a figure. Put you back. Put you back. And that should do it. Anyway, I recommend any of these. There isn't any one of them that I disliked. Most of them can be had fairly reasonable, and I can't really say anything, but I recommend them. They do take up a lot of shelf space, but they look absolutely gorgeous. And you can still display, if you're just setting up figures, you can display underneath them. So if you've got top shelf, they can sit up there, and the only space they'll occupy is their feet, because they do look awesome towering above everybody else. Anyway, hope you liked it. Thank you guys. Catch you later. That's my story. Bye.